Booster Test Tank 18.3 suffers a major structural failure during its first crusher test at Massey's. The first of the new ship transport stand is nearing completion at Sanchez, work on the third level of steelwork is almost finished at the build site, and pile drilling for the new flame trench at Pad 1 is underway at the launch site. Hey, Jeff A here, and welcome to RGV Aerial Photography's Starbase Flyover update number 115. The flight was conducted on January the 22nd in amongst some cloudy winter weather. As you'll see though, we managed to get yet another set of amazing images to keep you up to date with all the changes to the various sites in and around Starbase, Texas. So sit back and enjoy the tour. We'll start over at the Massey's test facility. Here's a labelled map from Proky to find your way around the site. Beginning at the flame trench structure, the two black angled pieces have been mounted on the structure. We speculate that these will be part of the framework to suspend the squeeze test equipment seen here this week with the actuator and linkage cable. Down at the bottom of the SQD gantry, the liquid oxygen drain has been hooked up. We have mentioned in the past that Ship 39 is waiting for the ship cryo stand to be free of the S39.1 test tank before it rolls out next. Given that this new test structure is nearing readiness, the ship may be placed on the static fire stand next for that test, without engines installed prior to cryo testing. This may be why the static fire stand has no brackets for the RVACs yet. The new tank in the deluge farm has had additional plumbing installed. Moving to the structural test area, we can see the B18.3 test tank has suffered a structural failure. This happened during a test on the 21st. Here's a clip from Avid Space, formerly Lab Padre, and was compiled by Vix. It's unclear whether this was an intentional test to destruction or an unintended failure. Tell us what you think in the comments below. The Super Crusher has had its upper actuators removed. This includes the 4 at the top and the 5 just below. These 5 will stay attached to the cap during its removal. The twin angled sets and the horizontal single at the rear are still attached. Recapping events for the last week, S39.1 conducted its 7th cryogenic proof test on the 21st of January. That's all from Massey's for now, but before moving to Sanchez, let's take a quick look at the surrounding sites. Proky put together the super wide angle map of the Starbase area with labels so you can get an idea of how the various sites are laid out. The new Ad Astra school is advancing well, with cladding work, window installation and services being added. Out the front we can see 2 roadwork bases for student drop-off and staff parking. Nearby at the Rio West site, expansions to the right are at a standstill. It's not clear when this land will be used. At the other end, the rec centre is in its final stages of construction and is getting concrete vehicle access out the front. To the rear of the building, we can see a new tennis court is being built. The Chompe's establishment across the road has seen some of its interior walls constructed and preparations for the roof, though progress appears rather slow for now. Around the rest of the site, most of the residential buildings are complete now, with the remainder not far behind. Near the steel storage lot on Highway 4, crew are installing the new water main from Brownsville to Starbase. A large amount of steel is staged in the lot, with a large forklift handling one of them during this flyover. Looking at another wide-angle view, parts for SpaceX's LR11000 crane are staged at the Highway 4 storage lot while it's in its current configuration. More work on services can be seen along Highway 4. In the foreground, the accommodations site is still missing a few units, and over the road we can see the older Ad Astra school, including the control centre that was previously used for Starship launches. Now, let's go over to Sanchez. Here's a labelled map to help you locate different points of interest. Beginning with the stand construction area, work on the 2nd and 3rd ship transport stands seems to have stopped. With the first stand having all 6 hold-down clamps, we could possibly see it move soon. Workers have stacked the 2 mystery rings together, and as its construction progresses, more clues to the purpose of this structure will be known. Now, with the work stands, progress is seen with more supports being added to the one that is under construction, and 2 more centre rings staged and awaiting construction. Further along, parts of another work stand are staged. This one is yet another variation, with Z-shaped beams that may be for a barrel with a dome. Some reinforcements appear to have been installed in the interface ring. One possibility is that they are there to hold the part steady while welding the joints. Some small progress is seen on the white frame structure. As crew added attachment points, the purpose is still unclear. Moving to the rocket garden, 2 black pieces have been positioned indicating that they may soon be welded together. It is still unclear what the purpose of this structure will be. Work on the second ship static fire stand continues as crews are starting to install the horizontal segments. It is still a mystery if the legs are filled with concrete to add ballast for additional stability. Just before moving to the build site, we'd like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all the patrons get to participate in our show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with a live chat function. Starting at the Gigabay, work slowed down a little because of some unfavourable weather conditions. Work has advanced to the third level of construction, with the middle section mostly complete. This week, the factory side has been started, and also includes temporary bracing spanning the aisle. Across the highway, construction of a turnout has commenced. Out the front of Megabay 1, more platform assemblies are staged for installation. Looking inside, we can see that Booster 19 remains on the front left turntable and is missing its chines. If we zoom in closer, the COPVs are visible, still with their red protective covering. The booster cryostand is staged near Megabay 2, awaiting Booster 19 readiness for rollout to masses to start its testing campaign. Also in the shot, we can see the Starlink loader. This is the second one that SpaceX has constructed, and appears to have built-in loading rails on either side of the delivery door. Inside, Ship 39 has had both of its aft flaps installed. At the front of the bay, the engine work stands for the lift platform on the front right workstation are staged ready for installation. To the back of the factory, the two forward flaps are still stored outside, with the two aft flaps taken back inside. It's unknown if these were the ones fitted to Ship 39 or for a future ship. The apartment block is getting a touch of greenery, with planter boxes filled with hanging varieties of plants. What appears to be SpaceX staff cars are making use of the garage on a number of levels. Work around the rest of the site is continuing as expected. The concrete under the site previously used for accommodation is still being broken up. Well, that's it for the build site. Let's move over to the launch site. If you need some extra time, pause now to browse this week's labelled map of the launch site. With the clamp arm doors now fully installed, work on Pad 2 OLM has rapidly slowed in visible progress. The clamp arms are covered in some blankets, likely to protect them from some welding on the doors that has been observed. In the flame trench, the extension covers over the sump area appears complete. The sump covers for the left side are removed and sitting on the side. On the 25th, a test of the DSS system was conducted, followed by a test of the flame bucket or ridge. An additional test of the deluge lasted 55 seconds was also performed on the 26th. Thanks to Fix for grabbing this clip from Avid Space. At the corner of the pad, the pipe connecting to the deluge tank farm has been plumbed to the retention pond drain. As once speculated, it appears the collected water may be reused. Alternatively, this could be a way for the MOVAC trucks to offload fresh water to the tanks and then fill with reclaimed water without pumping directly from the pond. During the flyover, it appears crews are working to clean the sediment that's separated from the collected water. At the D1 gate, the privacy wall is getting closer to completion. Let us know in the comments if you think the Gateway to Mars sign might be installed on this wall once finished. Checking on the SQD arm extension, additional pipework has been added at the bend as the remaining systems are integrated. Moving to the middle of the site, 2 cryogenic storage tanks have been delivered. These are expected to be for the tank farm foundations being installed. These tanks appear to be newly delivered to the port, as the 3 tanks we've been watching with the ASU modules remain at the port connector road lot. Along the edge, a large delivery of geogrid material has been staged. Several documents have been found indicating the area south of the launch site may be clear for expansion. New survey stakes have been observed following the new boundaries seen in the most recent site plan. At the LOX vaporizers, the 2 new units can be seen installed as mentioned in the previous episode. On the 26th, the final vaporizer was delivered and quickly installed. The pile drilling has been completed at the tank farm expansion. The 2 rows of footings have been prepared with rebar for tank installation. The existing subcooler and tank pedestals have also been removed to make space. Nearby, steel embeds for the pedestal are staged for the original methane tanks. To the other side of the newest tanks, 5 of the tank pedestals have also been staged. The 3 valve sleds that will integrate the tanks to the tank farm are also staged here ahead of installation. At Pad 1, demolition of the original pad can now be considered finished, as the CFA drill rig made its way here and the drilling of piles for the upgraded pad with flame trench has commenced. This didn't come without some initial setbacks, as several of the first piles had difficulty installing the rebar cage into the bore. This rebar cage could be seen with concrete coating it. Shortly after the flyover, sheet piles started arriving at the pad. Next to the tower, these 4 long tubes will be used to install a guide rail as part of the sheet pile installation. This process was also seen during the construction of the Pad 2 trench. Moving across the street to the ASU site, installation of equipment has begun. These 2 vertical tanks were the first to be placed on their foundations, followed by this larger module placed between the tanks. Attached to the LR1500 is the smallest of the modules. This will be stacked on top of one of the remaining modules that was transported on the 26th. As of the writing of this episode, 4 of the 5 modules from the Port Connector Road were transported to the site. By the time it's released, all 5 modules may have already been installed. The compressors continue to have their interconnecting pipes installed, only a few remain staged nearby. To the other side of the site, a second larger diameter pipe has been added near the wall. These 2 pipes may be the supply and return for the water cooling tower expected to be installed along this area. A third pipe also appears to be in the process of being welded together. Nearby, some areas are being excavated for some utilities to be installed. Well, that's it for episode 115 of Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGV Aerial Photography, and we hope you all enjoyed the flight. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe for more episodes and content so you don't miss out on new videos each week, and leave a thumbs up. To receive the latest images and to join in the conversations on the day they are taken, please consider joining RGV's Patreon. I'm Jeff A, and I'll see you next week from 1 nautical mile, or 6,076 feet.